What's up, guys? All right, this is not the video that I planned on making today, but it is what it is. It's going to get dark here in a few minutes, and I had some other stuff gathered up that I was going to make some videos with, and by the time I got to the range and was going to make those videos, it would have been getting dark on me, and I need to make a few, so we'll move that out to this weekend. But this video will probably actually be monetized anyway, so I don't know. If you like golf, you may love this video. If you don't, please forward this video to somebody who does like golf. But I like to share my hobbies with you guys and kind of like to let you know what I've found that works well. So if you're a golfer, you know, I'm like a 10, 12 handicap, maybe some days 16, 17. Just depends on, you know, the day. But most of the time I can keep it within 10, 12-ish. But my clubs have really changed over the year, and I've been fortunate enough to get to try a lot of different golf clubs. I've tried a ton of golf clubs this year. And this is just a backup set, but they're new as well. But this is actually the clubs I chose to use as my everyday, just, you know, going to the golf course. This is what I would pick up and go with right here. But I'm going to give you a little bit of back history with what I've used and let you know how it works. So in case you want like some budget stuff, we have some of this in here, or some older stuff is where I started this year. And then we have some like stupid expensive stuff over here. So if you're really into golf, this stuff right here will probably excite you. If you're just getting started, you know, I started out this year with a set of Ping G25s. I thought I had my hybrid in here, but I don't. I still have the hybrid, but I traded and sold everything else. But I had G25 irons, I had G25 driver, hybrid, I had all that. And I really liked them. I mean, they were good clubs. I just didn't feel like the Ping irons were as long as I would like them to be, but they are way forgiving. So if you're a beginner, any Ping G series irons is going to be great. They're very forgiving clubs. And you may be able to hit them further than I did, but I just didn't get the distance that I wanted. But if you're just getting started, Ping is a good way to go. All the way back to like the G5s and all the way up to the G430 today. Just great options. If you're just getting started, stay away from the blades. But anything with a cavity back, you're probably good to go. After that, I did move on. I didn't bring nothing. I did move on to a set of Callaway blades, and I really liked the blades. They were really long. Those are pretty expensive. They were Apex 21 MBs, completely forged, really felt good. They weren't as forgiving. I could keep them pretty straight, but I decided, hey, I want to try something else. I'm just never satisfied. And so I moved on to a set of Mizuno MP20s. The MP20s were really nice. I really liked them, but I did get to hit a chance to hit a set of the MP2 or the Mizuno Pro. MP stands for Mizuno Pro. But Mizuno Pro 225s. I really like the 225s. The MP20 HMB, which is what I had, and the 225s are both like a hollow body club, kind of like the TaylorMade P790s, I think it is. And I'm a little bit better golfer than those, I feel. I wanted to be able to work the ball a little more. I wanted a little bit better feel out of it. Not saying that if you hit those, you're not a good golfer. I played well with those, both sets. I just wanted a little bit better feeling. Mizuno is supposed to be one of the best feeling golf clubs that there is. I just didn't feel like those felt as good as I would have liked them to. So I actually traded the MP20 HMBs for the 225s, and not too long ago, I traded the 225s, and yes, you all can get mad. I do use head covers because these irons are crazy expensive. They're like almost $1,350, $1,400, but they're the Mizuno Pro 223s. I really like these. I played a couple around with these already. They got the KBS shaft in them. I just really like these irons, and they are amazing looking. Look at that. I mean, these irons just look so good. I did have to have them turned 2 degrees up. I do recommend everyone go get fitted if you're looking for irons, but I'm a little impatient and I want mine now. So usually I just find a shaft I like, and which this KBS is a stiff flex. It is the Tour 120S. And I really like this shaft. It works well for me. And then I just fit the head to my swing, which is a 2-degree upright for me. These do come with the Golf Pride MCC grips. And I do wish I would have had at least 2 pieces of tape underneath this, or like a +4 or a mid-size. These are just a little bit small. That is something bad about buying clubs off the shelf. You don't get to pick your grip option, so if you need larger grips, you're kind of stuck with what's on them. When you're buying Mizunos, buy them from a reputable dealer. These things do get faked a lot, and make sure they have a serial number on them right there on the hosel when you're buying them. If they don't have a serial number, a lot of times they are not real, so you don't want to buy those. But again, these things are amazing in my opinion. They do feel better than the 225s. And again, forged irons are very, very soft. So yes, I do use head covers to protect those irons, because I've seen used ones and they get beat all to pieces. My theory is they're too expensive to get beat all to pieces, for one, and two, when I go to trade these in, if they're in better shape next year or 2 years down the road, they're going to give me more for them. And I seen that with a driver that we'll get into here in just a minute. But now for the irons that I actually play. I don't play those irons right there all the time. I do play them, but not all the time. Again, head covers right here. But I really like these. They feel good, and it is the 2024 Callaway Apex Pros. I think these clubs are really good feeling clubs. They really, really do feel nice. I've seen tour players use the Apex Pros, and I can see why. Again, these are completely forged. That's why I use a head cover, because they will ding up very badly. I looked for a used set of last year's model in these, and every one of them looked like you'd taken them down a rock road dragging them behind a truck. That's how they dinged up. And my Mizuno 20s, I didn't use head covers on for like the first 3 rounds, and you could tell they were getting beat up all to pieces already. Forged clubs are just soft. But these have the dynamic gold shafts in them. I do like this shaft. It seems to work well. Again, just bought these off the shelf. These were the first ones I had seen, and I picked them up, and then I had to have them bent to my spec. But there again, worked well. Everything worked out, and I really like those clubs. Let's get into putters, because I bought a lot of putters this year. I started out this year with like a Ping Cadence. Ping putters are good putters. The Ping, is what started the whole Newport style putter for Scotty Cameron. They had the answer, and that's where it all started. So, I mean, it really grew into something spectacular with the Scotty Cameron. I keep pointing this way. I guess you know what's over here. So I started out with the Cadence, and then I moved to like an Answer 4 putter. And then I moved to, this is actually what I use. We'll wait on that for a minute. I bought this one next, but I'm back to using this one again. So we'll wait to show you what that is till the end. I did pick up this Scotty Cameron right here. It is the 5S center shaft. I do like this putter. I liked it a lot. When I'm on with this putter, I'm really on with this putter. But when I'm off with this putter, I'm really off with this putter. So it doesn't get in a bag as much as it used to. This is my newest Scotty Cameron. It is the Scotty Cameron Super Select Newport 2.5. I actually have 2 of these. I hit this so well that I actually bought a second one. I'm bad about that. I buy backups of things. You'll see us here in a minute. Just in case this one got stolen, because you have a Scotty Cameron head cover sitting in your bag. Sometimes people like to pick those up with what's in them and walk off with them. So I did buy another one of these. I really like the 2.5. I think that the neck on the 2.5 for my swing is actually better than the standard Newport, because it has that longer neck on it, that's the more offset, and I do prefer this. Now, what I hit currently is, and I had to order this from Japan. If you've watched my other videos, you already know. It is the Fastback, 2014 Fastback. This thing does show some wear, but it was the best one that I could find on the internet for sale in the best shape. And I had to order it from Japan. It is real. It still has the holographic sticker on it. From some company over there, it basically has like 900 stores. It's almost like a PGA Tour superstore over there. And it came with the head cover. And this putter is amazing. I'm just dead on with this putter. And I really, really like it. If you ever get the chance to use one of these, do so. When I first saw it, it has this red cross in the center of it. I thought that's kind of hokey, but that really helps you line up every dimension of this putter and helps you sink more putts. Now we'll get into fairway woods. I started out with, like I said, Ping G25s. I like those, but I sold them. I moved on to Titleist TSIs. I have a 5-wood and a 3-wood. This is the 3-wood. I really like these. I really did. They're really nice. That's why I still have them. I do have the hazardous shaft in them. It is stiff and it varies a very low torque. What is it? 3.5 degrees in torque, so it's pretty low torque. My swing speed's probably like 105, 108 mile an hour. So I did want that lower torque. But these worked out really well for a while. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. And that is because I moved on to the Stealth 2. The TaylorMade Stealth 2. And I wish this was a plus, but I just couldn't bring myself to spend the extra $100, $150 to get the plus model in this. And this has the Ventus TR shaft in it, the red Ventus TR. I do really like this club. Again, I wish it was the plus one that has the titanium face with the movable weight, a little more adjustment in it. But I really can't be sad that I have this one because this thing just launches the ball off the fairway and it goes long. And there are a lot of tour players that actually just use the regular Stealth 2 like this right here. So you can't say a whole lot bad about that. I mean, if tour players are using it, I mean, what can you say about that? I do still use the TSI hybrids. I have a 3 hybrid and a 4 hybrid. I will tell you right now, the 3 hybrid, which I have in my hand, is very long and very straight. This is one of the longest hybrids I've ever hit. This is the TSI 2. I do prefer it over the 3. I had a 3 at one point in time. I didn't like the way the toe looked standing over top of it. So I bought the 2. I think this is one that has a really low torque. Yeah, 2.4 degrees torque on this hazardous shaft right here. I do really like the hazardous shaft. This shaft and the Ventus shaft, in my opinion, at least for me, are some of the 2 best shafts I've ever swung. But this thing right here will just murder a golf ball. I mean, it just launches it so low. I mean, it's not like some big balloon launch. You do get a low launch with this right here, and it's just piercing. That's the way I describe it to people. When you hit a ball with a hybrid, a good hybrid, it'll be like a piercing flight. It's just awesome, and I love to see a ball flight of a hybrid that I've hit well, because it's just amazes me. But now let's get into the big stick. I've had a lot of drivers this year. I've had a chance to hit almost every driver on the market this year. I started out with a G25, like I said. When I bought those Callaway blades, I bought a Ping G430 with an upgraded Auto Rogue white shaft in it. I liked that driver. It was pretty forgiving. At the time, I had a case of the hooks, and I was struggling with it. But when you hit it, it was decent long, not like super long, but it was pretty forgiving. I forgot right before that, I had the LST model. That is not forgiving. The LST model is nowhere near as forgiving as the Max. I had the Max after that. I like the Max a little better than the LST, but there again, I had a case of the hooks and I was struggling a little bit. So it may have both been okay if I could have straightened that out at the time, which I have now. But the G430, I feel like for the people just starting out, if you're like a mid handicapper, it's great. It's long enough and it's very forgiving. So you're going to hit a lot of fairways with that. But I didn't like it as much because I wasn't getting as much distance with it. So I traded that in for a Stealth 2 Plus. I'd heard a lot of stuff about the Stealth 2 Plus. I really liked the thought of, liked the face. I liked everything about it. It is not forgiving either. But when you hit that club, it is it is pretty long. I ain't gonna lie, when you hit it on the screws, it's pretty long. But it wasn't very forgiving, and I didn't like the sound of it. Another thing I didn't like about the Stealth 2 Plus was the head. It felt heavy. It felt really heavy on the end of the shaft, and a lot of drivers, they don't feel like that. They're lighter, you get more speed through the ball and stuff like that. But to me, and everybody that picked that driver up just thought that head felt stupid heavy. So I got rid of that, and I got a Titleist TSR3. TSR3 is a great driver. Highly recommend that driver. Love my TSR3 until I got what's in the bag right now. And my buddy, what made me change TSR3 was my buddy actually bought a Paradigm, which leads me to what's in this bag right here. A Paradigm. He bought this, and he was like 25 yards longer than me on every drive. And I was like, is it really my Titleist driver, or is it really me that's not getting that extra distance? So I went out and bought this. I still had my Titleist, but I went and bought one of these. It is the Paradigm Triple Diamond in 9 degree with the Ventus blue shaft in it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it was not me. This driver is the longest driver I've ever seen in my entire life. This thing is amazing. It is a game changer in my opinion. Also in my opinion, Callaway now has a predicament. They have a problem. What are they going to do next year? Because I just can't see them coming out with a better driver than this for next year. I don't know how long it will take them to make a better driver. They better just change the color of this and send it on out again and call it the Paradigm 2, because I don't think that you're going to get a better driver. The Ventus shaft, it just seems to fit me very, very well with my swing. And luckily, my local store allows me to switch shafts, and this one had the Cali shaft in it, Khalil shaft in it, just like my Stealth 2 Plus did, and I didn't like that shaft, so I switched it out for the Ventus. This is the non-Velocore version. I'd be afraid to buy the Velocore now because this driver is stupid straight. Whichever direction I hit it, that is where it goes. It does not slice, it does not fade, it just goes. And it goes long. I hit multiple 300-yard drives with this on my first outing out. The first ball I hit with this was just stupid long, and I liked this so well that I decided the other day that I would take my Titleist and trade it for another one. I told you, I have doubles of a lot of things. I have busted a driver in the past. I thought I busted this one the first time I played with it. Something was rattling. It sounded like inside it. I did tighten down the weights, and that seemed to stop it. So I don't think I busted anything in it. But just in case that ever happens, we have a backup to it with the same shaft. I had to drive quite a long way to find one with a Ventus blue shaft in it. It is very hard to find these things with these shafts in them. You find them with the Khalil, however you pronounce that Mitsubishi shaft. And you find them with some hazardous shafts in them, stuff like that. But the Ventus shaft just was not very common in these. And I looked up and I found two. And as soon as I found the second one, I drove like an hour and 45 minutes. They gave me quite a bit of money for my driver. And this is where we get back to it. What I was talking about keeping head covers on. They told me over the phone, I was like, kind of tell me what you might give me for my driver before I drive up there. Because I live, almost 2 hours away. And they told me, and I was like, okay, I'll do that. It sounds good. Set the driver back. They sit behind the counter since I was so far away. I drove up there and I handed my driver, and when I looked at it, it was in such good condition. They gave me like $60 more than what they had told me over the phone that I was willing to take because of how good the driver was, shape the driver was in. They do the same thing with irons, people. If you have cast irons, they're not going to get dinged up. But if you have forged irons, why not protect that investment? These Callaways were $1,505 plus tax. These Mizunos were like $1,300 and some dollars plus tax. These aren't cheap investments. So why not buy? And who cares what people think? If you make fun of me, so be it. when I go to trade mine in, I'm going to get $100 and some more than you'll probably get for yours if you played any amount of rounds with them, because they're going to get beat all to pieces, and mine will still look fairly new because other than a sole where I've actually hit balls with them, they're going to look fairly new because I actually protected my investment. That's the way I look at it. It worked out with the driver. It will work out with irons and woods and putters and everything else. When I go to buy something, if it's beat all to pieces, it looks like it's been abused, I'm not going to buy it. I'll just go buy it new and take care of it. And then when I go trade in, if you're fortunate enough to buy my set, they'll look like new and you'll get plenty more years of use out of them. And then you can get plenty of years of use out of them that are beat up. They just don't look as good. Now, something embarrassing I did try this year. I did try this. And my cousin had one, he kept talking it up. And this wasn't the same brand he had. But I thought, I do very well with my short game. If I can get inside 80 yards, I am usually pin seeking a lot of times or very close. And if I'm really around the green chipping, I'm usually within a few feet, 3 to 4 feet, chipping up to the hole. But my cousin said, here, try this. And I tried his, and I chipped like 2 balls in, just like in a row. And I was like, this is crazy. So I bought an Odyssey chipper. I will tell you right now, his was a top flight. I did buy a top flight. I like the top flight better. I don't carry this in my bag. I don't carry the top flight in my bag. I chipped good enough without it, but I just wanted to try it. In my opinion, the Odyssey is too heavy. I was hitting the ball past the hole a lot. The top flight is way lighter than this, and it was easier to keep the ball closer to the hole when you was chipping. And I just did like the top flight a little better. I did get the head cover for it as well to kind of protect it. I put head covers on everything. Protect your stuff, people. You'll get more out of it in the end. But that's pretty much everything I've tried this year. I've tried a lot of clubs, as you can see here. Numerous clubs. My buddies have had Cobras and TaylorMades and everything, so I've had a chance to try those. I really like these 2 sets of irons. If one ain't working for me, sometimes I change clubs in the middle of a round and the other ones will pick up. And they do. I did that the other day. I was hitting the Callaways. I wasn't hitting them too well. I changed the Mizunos, picked it right up, and they played a little better. So, you know, sometimes I carry 2 bags with me in a truck and I just switch out what ain't working that day. When it comes to balls, I really like, and I've tried every ball on the market almost, as far as high-end balls go. But I really like the TP5X and the TP5. That's what's in this bag. I probably have 6 or 7 dozen of each of those. And I have Chrome Soft triple tracks in this bag, and I have like 5 or 6 dozen of those. Not in the bag, but I just keep that just in case I lose one, because I do that periodically. So I usually right now I have like 1 hole I blow up on. So I lose a ball or 2 here and there. So I do buy those. I do buy those used. I ain't gonna lie, I don't pay $50 a dozen for golf balls. I find them online used, and I buy those in like new condition. I get them for like $25 or less, and then they look like a brand new ball. And to be honest with you, I've hit brand new balls and I've hit used balls, and I really can't tell a huge difference. As long as they don't have big scuffs on them and stuff like that, I really can't tell a huge difference. But as far as that goes, I usually use a TaylorMade TP glove. I really like those. And that's about the extent of it. I did buy a rangefinder. I did about forget that. Let me see if I can pull this bad boy out of here. It's right here. I did buy the Bushnell Golf Tour V6 with the shift. This thing is amazing. It is very accurate. The shift works great. It tells you exactly how far you need to hit the ball. It's very easy to use. It has a very, very strong magnet on the back. So when you put it on the cart, I stick it to like the side of the rail where the window goes. And I never even worry about this thing coming off. It does have a little bit better water resistance than the V5 did. But the only reason I bought the V6 is just because I was fixing to play in a tournament. And the navigation, or not navigation, but GPS on our phones and watches and stuff didn't work there. We'd played the week before. So I bought this mainly for that one course. And I have used it every shot ever since. It's it was a great, I can't remember if it's $400 or $500, but that was a great amount of money spent on that because I've used it more than probably anything because it gets used every single shot almost, unless it's just like a little chip shot or something. But if I'm outside 50 yards, I'm probably ranging to see where I need to hit it. If you have any questions about anything you've seen here, I do have like a Mizuno staff stand bag, and then I have a multi-cam bag over here, and I have a few more bags in my room. But if you have any questions about anything, I'd be happy, or more than happy, to answer those questions if I can. If you have a question about some other clubs, I forgot to tell you, my wedges, all my wedges are the same. They're all Vokey SM8s, I think it is. Ain't that what it is? Yeah, SM8. I like the SM8 better than the 9s. In my opinion, they feel like they're a little more weighted on the head. I don't like my driver feeling like it's so heavy on the head of the driver, but I do like my wedges and irons to feel like there's a little more weight so I can cut through that grass and leave a nice divot. But I have 3 wedges. I do carry a 50, a 54, and then this one is a 56. And I have other Callaway, or not Callaway, but Vokey wedges. I also have another 56 over here and a 52. The 56s had different grinds. This one's like an F grind, I think it is. And this one is an M grind. So I do like the different grinds in these. So I do carry the M grind instead of the F, or maybe this is S. This is actually an S. I thought it was an F. The other one over there is an F. The 52 is an F. But I don't carry those as much. I'm thinking about trying a Callaway Jaws wedge because I picked one up the other day and it felt even better than these as far as the weight goes. So I'm thinking about buying like a 50 degree in that and just giving it a try. Seeing if I like it. I've heard a lot of good things about them. I just want to know if I like those or not. And maybe I'll put 3 of those in next year. But for now, we're running Vokeys and I really like the Vokeys. I've used Vokeys for years. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. My favorite club in the bag is definitely the Paradigm driver. It is the longest driver. I cannot imagine how far I could have hit this driver if I would have had this in my 20s. In my 20s, I was taking old drivers and hitting them well over 300 yards. If I'd have had something like this with this technology that is that long, it would have been crazy. I would have loved to have seen what younger me could have done with that. Again, like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'd happy to answer them if I can. And I love you guys. We'll see you next time.